Hi, welcome to FBA Profits. My name is Leland.
My name is Zubi.
Hey, Zubi. The topic for today is prep and pack services. We're going to talk about the pros and cons, maybe some best practices, and whether or not you should do it for yourself. And if you're going to, maybe a couple of tools for it. Um, like we normally
Well,
do,
let's
maybe take a step back. And what are we talking about as far as prep and pack? We're assuming you're here
yeah,
because you're involved with fulfillment by Amazon. And so you have some idea of either being in the field and buying something, retail arbitrage, or you're online and you've bought some stuff. Now you have it, like I do in the background if we're doing a visual on this podcast with the boxes and all the stuff. Now, what do? You have it, right? So you can do it yourself. You can have somebody else do it. There's options. You want to take it from there?
yeah. Well, let's define the do it part.
No.
What Amazon requires, it could mean a lot of different things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what Amazon requires, and the FBA process, for just a quick 30,000 foot description of it. It's a great service that they offer, but where they do the warehousing, they do the customer acquisition, they do the order taking, they do the fulfillment, the shipping, all of that for every order Amazon handles. The one thing they do require us as sellers to do is to send them the products in a specific way. So when we have a certain number of products that we want to purchase and for resale, we have to go ahead and list those products in our Seller Central account. And then Amazon will tell us, hey, send 5 of them to this shipment, to this warehouse, 20 of them to this warehouse. They will tell us where to ship them to. And they will tell us you need to place labels on them. You need to polybag them. You need to bubble wrap them. You need to do this. You need to do that. So that's what's called prep and pack. So you have to prep the products so that when Amazon gets it, it doesn't break. It doesn't, it's ready for them to go ahead and place it on their shelves. And then once a customer orders it, they pick it up from the shelf, put it in the box, and they ship it to the customer. So the prep and pack services, there are services out there. We offer a service for prep and pack only for our clients. We don't offer it to sort of the general public of Amazon resellers. You have to be somehow associated with our Pro ASINs family, whether it's through our leads list, coaching, ungating services, whatever it might be. But you have to be part of our sort of inner circle to be able to utilize our prep and pack services. But there's a lot of 3PL and prep and pack services out there that offer these services, or you can do it yourself. Like Leland said, I started doing it in my bedroom or in my garage. You have to be able to, when you're first starting out, your main concern is you have twofold, right? You want to make sure that you spend the least amount of money on expenses and that you optimize your time on your business. A lot of people, Amazon is not their top revenue generating business or work. They have other jobs, and this is sort of like a side hustle or something that they're hoping will grow into something where they can replace their full-time income on. But so when you're in that stage, it makes sense to pay somebody to do your prep and pack. It makes sense for you not to have products shipped to your house and stored in your garage until you have time to go ahead and list them and prep them and bubble wrap them and label them and then send them to Amazon. So the prep and pack services really do help save time. They cost a little bit of money, so you want to make sure you have those incorporated into your ROI and your cost calculations. But they are a godsend for a lot of people because without it, you really can't scale nearly as fast or as much as you could by using them. So
So
that
it's
was like
really,
a 30,000 foot.
yeah, you're talking about different strategies for where you are. If you look at this as an investment, you want to drop your dollars, you don't want to look at anything, you don't want to touch anything, having a service do that. If you're trying to scale and you're going from that small to mid, then you engage somebody like us, and we can start doing prep and pack because we have the space for it, we have the manpower, we have the tools necessary to do it. So it's really on where you are in the strategy. Yep.
Absolutely. And one of the key factors, there's a bunch of different benefits to prep and pack beyond what we just discussed. Well,
Mhm.
the most obvious ones are, of course, space savings. You don't need to get your own warehouse. You don't need to get your own employees. You don't need to waste your own time doing all the prep and pack. You pay a little bit for that, but there are benefits beyond that as well. There are ways where you can actually save some money by using a prep and pack service. It wouldn't be, well, I mean, I guess it could be depending on where you are. There's a lot of prep and pack services in states that don't charge tax.
Mhm.
There's no sales tax on there. So if you use a prep and pack service in one of those states where there is no sales tax, even if you are in a state that pays sales tax, but you're shipping the product to that prep and pack service in that state, you're not paying sales tax on that. So that's you're actually saving money right there, depending on what the tax rate is. If you were to have it shipped to your house, you're saving that money. So that reduces your expenses for whatever you're paying the prep and pack service company. That's one of the big ones that a lot of people use. We're not in that state. We're in California. Our warehouse is in Mission Viejo. Our sales tax rate is 7.75% currently, as of the date of this recording. That still means that you could, if you use us, you could still save money. If you are in Los Angeles, which the sales tax is 9 point something, if you ship it to us, you're saving 2%, right? Or if you're in a place where you're not paying any sales tax, if you ship it to us, you have to pay sales tax. So you add a little bit of money to it. So you want to make sure you keep these things in mind. The sales tax is one of the easiest ways to either reduce or add some cost to your prep and pack services. So make sure you keep that in mind. If you're in a place where you really want to save that sales tax rate and you find a good prep and pack facility in a state that doesn't require or doesn't have sales tax, absolutely, by all means, use them, because you're now saving whatever your sales tax rate is. And that's a big deal when you're going large and larger inventory. If you're sending in $100 worth of products, maybe not as much, but if you're sending in $10,000 worth of products, it adds up. If you're sending in $100,000 products, it really adds up. So definitely keep that in mind when you're choosing a prep and pack center. But in addition to that, there's a lot of prep and pack service centers that when you call them and you try to talk to somebody, you can't get a hold of them. When you're trying to find out some information, they're rude. And you hear this and I read these on message boards and stuff all the time. You want to make sure you find a prep and pack service center that you're comfortable with, that you can trust, because they're going to have access to your Seller Central account. They're going to have access to your Inventory Lab account if you have Inventory Lab. And they're going to have access to your products. They are going to be the first line that's going to impact your seller feedback. If they do it wrong, if they scratch up stuff, they bubble wrap it wrong, or they don't bubble wrap something that should be, it's going to ding your account. You have to make sure that you trust that prep and pack service to know what they're doing, and that they have the right employees in place, they have the right systems in place that is going to make sure that you don't inadvertently have your account suspended or have your account dinged because of something that they did. So you always want to make sure you talk to the person in charge. You interview them just like you would any other vendor, and make sure that you feel comfortable with who they are and what type of service and systems they have in place before you actually decide to go ahead and send all of your inventory over to them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So when we're expanding, we have a few states to pick from to then do prep and pack. So we got Oregon, Alaska, Montana, New Hampshire. that's
So
that's where to go with no sales tax.
Oregon and Montana are the two big ones, because a lot of people are moving there, especially now with the whole COVID thing. California is emptying out. So a lot of people are moving to Oregon and Montana. But yeah, those are places with no sales tax. They have their pros and cons over there, but you want to make sure that in addition to save cost savings, that you're also going with the right reputable company that is not going to have your account suspended.
I would agree with anything that you're doing that involves your business, whether it's whatever service it is that you're looking to engage somebody in, especially if they're in the critical path, right? That the product is on the critical path. So you'll want to make sure all of your partners are working for you, and that you're not just one of many that they don't really care that much about. I want to ask you a question. You said it really fast. We haven't done this for a while. You threw out an acronym really quickly. Do you
Ah,
know which
what
one
did
it
I do?
was? Do you know?
I
You
do
remember?
not. I don't. I don't. I don't.
3PL.
Ah, third party logistics. Yes.
Yeah.
So 3PL is. Hey, you caught me once, man.
Yeah.
I've
Once.
been trying to be I've been trying to be so good about that since we started this game. Yeah, third party logistics. It's a industry acronym for third party companies that do logistical work for clients.
Yep. So if you're new to this whole FBA, and I'm mentioning this because I'm engaging 4 or 5 different people that are brand new in this process, and they're probably listening, um, don't need to worry so much about prep and pack. They're not quite there. It's okay to do what you described, which was in your garage/bedroom. Sorry, you had to move into the garage as your bedroom. I won't get
Mm-hmm.
into that story. But if you're looking to scale and grow, then this becomes the challenge, right? You have choices to engage somebody else or start your own, do it yourself, but grow it where it's on a warehouse scale, correct?
Yes,
Great.
yes, and then yeah, you also want to make sure that as part of your selection for your prep and pack company, there are some that will do merchant fulfilled for you as well. If you are into merchant fulfilled orders, um, a lot of prep and pack companies, especially on these states where there's no sales tax, their fees are a little bit higher. They do make up for that. They understand that the value that they bring with no sales tax, so they do bump up their fees a little bit. But the part that you have to make sure you're cognizant of is one, if they have a fee for accepting shipments for you, boxes. I don't know. For me, that doesn't set well, but a lot of them
Yeah.
do. And two, they charge you for storage. So if you ship your products to them, and they have to store it in their warehouse for a couple of weeks or a week before they send them, some of them charge you for that storage, which doesn't make sense to me unless you're doing huge volumes of it. Then I can see them charging. But if you're doing FBM, fulfillment by merchant, and you're using a prep and pack service to do that, you want to be aware of what the ancillary costs are to that, because it does eat away at your bottom line.
Makes sense. Anything else for prep and pack?
Well, there are some tools that you want to use. I don't know if you want to go into those right now, but just quickly,
Yeah.
when you have a prep and pack service that you're using, they offer, and they have all their own tools. They have the label printer. They have all their poly bags and whatnot. And I guess we can do another podcast or video going through exactly what, if you're going to do your own prep and pack, what those tools are. But the thing that you want to make sure with a prep and pack company, it's not just, hey, I send my products to them, all right, I'm hands off now. No, you have to let them know what's coming, how many is coming, what your cost was, did you pay shipping costs to get to them, did you pay tax to get to them, what is your fully landed cost, because they're listing your products for you. So
Mhm.
you need to make sure that they're aware of all the costs. For us, we have spreadsheets that we share with our each client, and they update that spreadsheet with what they're sending in to us, and then we update that same spreadsheet with what we received, what the discrepancies were, what the buy cost was, etc., what our fees were. Everything is on that spreadsheet so that we are on the same page, literally and figuratively. So you want to make sure that you are aware of that system that they have in place, whether they have a software, whether they use spreadsheets or whatever it might be. make sure that you are always having that, double checking that information to make sure that, hey, I had 10 ship in there, and did they send 10 to my Amazon account, or did they only send 9? If they only send 9, where's the other one? Was it broken? Did they return it? Do I need to return it? What needs to happen? So you want to be on top of your account with them.
Yeah, you got to manage the service. It's not completely hands off. I would agree. Even with the listings too, you're going to want to have some type of audit trail where you go back and look to make sure that they've listed everything appropriately and in the right numbers.
Yes.
Anything else, Zubi?
That's it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.